would be out on head, whether it's Shadow Nexus or ExG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Oh, there you go. Sleet and Omega. So that's kind of the situation that I think we've tricked him again, Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
So Ignatius, thanks. We got him to give us predictions again. So we'll see you again. We'll see you again before the next semifinals. We're heading into game now. Omega and Unlucker are about to face off to see who has the opportunity to get the direct invite. Omega with the mulligan got the 2 to the 3 to the 4. And he's looking not bad. Now, the whole soul swing is not going to take effect if Dragon doesn't play any cards. But
No, Dragon.
oh, he's got the Mage Leader instead.
He's got the Dragon Oracle. Mage Leader's great.
Yeah.
It would have been a shame to not have a target for Whole Soul Swing on turn 2, especially when your Dragon opponent has the Dragon Oracle.
Mm-hmm. I'm so happy that we got him to get another prediction. We'll see how many more times he falls for it. I'm just never going to give a prediction. I'm just going to make him do all the predictions.
Just digging the hole deeper, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotta love it. And he's got a Omega Man with the Whole Soul Swing and Itachi for a turn 3 play. He's also got the Novice Trooper as well. He just wants to get that on the field to take out that Unica and prevent Unlucker from healing next turn as well.
Gonna use the Whole Soul. And got 2 damage on board. Bloop blop. Mage Leader and Katana in Sheath.
And this is already turn 5 for Unlucker.
Oh, interesting. He played the what?
The Scyther instead of the Sybil. Very interesting choice. Scyther is, I mean, it's a late game card. Is what it is. It gains Storm when it's when you're in Overflow, and it's a single card removal that you get. But I guess the little bit of tempo he wanted to save Sybil for next turn when he's going to be on Overflow
To
and
guarantee
get the healing
that it can
effect.
heal.
To guarantee the healing.
It's not that crazy.
Not that crazy.
It's just you're so used to seeing Sybil.
You're right.
I mean, it's on the evolve turn as well for him, right? Because he ramped 1, so his evolve isn't activated yet.
And so now he's got the evolved Sybil next turn. If he wants to use that and get the healing as well, not a bad choice. But this is the first evolve orb for Omega.
Omega's throwing down the gauntlet. He says, "Let's race. Let's do it."
And there's 2 Alberts in the hand and the Dance of Death as well. If there's a Sybil, Dance of Death is going to be able to take that out right away.
And this is great for Unlucker because now he's going to be able to get the healing, guarantees that Sybil is there. And Omega, because of that board situation, committed to evolving the Katana and Sheath to try to get some extra damage, but now that evolution point is wiped off the field and the 3 damage is healed back up.
Right, and now it's a rather difficult spot. There's Luminous Mage that just came in hand. If he Alberts, goes for face, then that's still Sybil next turn. You've got to get rid of the Sybil. Dance of
Death is an option.
It
but
is.
That leaves just a 1/1 on the board.
Also, Geno is an option as well. Just rush 1 card, gets rid of the follower immediately, and you don't have to spend an Evolve Orb. Also with Luminous Mage, guess what? You don't have to spend an Evolve Orb. Didn't know if you knew that, but...
Yeah, for those of you who are actually new to the broadcast and haven't seen this card, Luminous Mage provides you both the Luminous Mage itself, which is a 2/3, will come with the 2/1 Luminous Knight, and what the Luminous Mage does is, as long as it's alive, evolution orbs you spend on captain cards do not expend an evolution orb point. So it's basically a free evolve. You still can only evolve 1 per turn, but it does not cost you any of your orbs. So playing the Erd.
True, playing the Erd on the Scyther after it attacked into the Mage. With a board like Omega had with those low-cost followers, I guess it was what Unlucker thought was the most effective tactic to make to really gain tempo in his favor. And there's not an Alwidas in the hands for Omega either.
Now, in terms of kind of surviving, you definitely want to save Dance of Death for something like Bahamut.
Yeah, I think very, very good choice right there.
And I think that really this comes down to math of how many cards does Omega have to survive turns, right? Before he hits 9. And even once he hits 9, I don't think he's going to be stable enough to be able to play Albert to swing face with the enhanced effect.
Right.
It actually seems like a pretty tough spot. I think Omega is going to need to rely on a few top decks here. And now that the Ouroboros is down, basically always going to be threatening 8 damage to face turn after turn, while also doing 3 directed damage.
3 directed damage, and also the heal. You either you're either forced to heal your own opponent, or you're risking taking 8 damage to face unless you can get a ward out.
The situation is certainly stacked against Omega. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it was definitely a great draw getting that Ouroboros because Unlucker only had Bahamut, Genesis Dragon, and Grimnir in his hand. Only 10 drop. He could have played Grimnir just for 3 on turn 9, but coming into that Ouroboros was definitely the draw that he wanted.
Well, so I think playing Dance of Death here is a mistake. I think he needs to try to figure out a way to do it with either the Maid Leader and the Knight, or with Lyriel, or something like that.
An Evolved Lyriel would be able to take it out and then do 1 damage. So now I guess Unlucker's only able to heal for 1, and then 1 damage from the Knight, essentially putting him at the same place. But now there's a Grimnir, there's a Genesis Dragon, also a Rahab as well.
Yeah, Bahamut coming down.
Coming right down, gonna force Omega to get rid of it. And that was the Dance of Death that he used on Ouroboros.
There's no risks that can be taken here, right?
Right.
Because either the Grimnir will wipe out and Bahamut can swing face, or the Genesis Dragon comes down, and then you get one shot by the 7 and the 13.
Yeah, either way, Grimnir's going to be able to clear the board, and Bahamut's going to go for face next turn.
Oh, God.
Omega's going to go for face right here, probably, but it's going to be in vain, I'm afraid. I think Unlucker just earned a huge advantage with that Bahamut play right on turn 10, a few turns before the enhanced Albert was able to come down, and Omega's got 3 Alberts in hand.
Oh, God. The possibility of 15 or 19 damage here with the Evolve Orb, but he's just going to take the swing.
He knows he's got Ouroboros, he's got Genesis Dragon in hand. This game was down and out when that Bahamut came on the board.
I don't think there's an option that he can play. Yep. Unlucker will take the first game here, and Swordcraft, I really think, kind of got pushed out of options. I really kind of think, how would the game have played out differently if Unlucker had chosen to play the Sybil on curve? I really think that that was a good move from Unlucker in many ways, right? Just the decisions that Omega made as a result of that play, I really think put him in a tough spot, right? He tried to go aggressive, and he got his options stuffed out, and he could never gain a foothold after that point.
Yeah, the 2 Dragoon Scythers with Bane were surprisingly really able to eke out a significant advantage in forms of tempo from the followers that that Omega had on board. And the Scythers were able to really gain a maximum advantage.
Omega versus Unlucker here, and Unlucker's up 1, now going to be using his Forgecraft deck. Sylvan Justice Ancient Elf is not comfortable for the start. You are going second, so there is a good chance that there will be a follower on board.
Right.
He's got some pretty hefty options in the late game. Roach plus Bounce is really strong. Having Arin in hand obviously is really strong. Having Ancient Elf early on is good, but you don't really have the followers to bounce.
Yeah, there is a Sylvan Justice, so Sylvan Justice is going to be able to take out the Maid Leader, get a Fairy in hand, but still, yeah, you're absolutely right. The Ancient Elf and another one as well. Definitely not going to be able to get a maximum advantage from the Ancient Elf on turn 3.
The most feel-bad Ancient Elf coming, I think, in the near future.
It's basically a Grimnir. It's got the same stats, just not the enhanced 10, but there is an Elf Child main.
He's an option.
He's got the bounce as well.
Does he want to bounce early? And I think he does. Get the extra draw, get the board clear, have the Elf Child main on board.
And now he's got an option for Ancient Elf next turn with a Fairy as well, so we'll be able to bounce 2 followers up. But Ancient Elf, I mean, it's so powerful because you can have that massive ward on turn 3 if you get those followers out on turn 1 and turn 2 if your opponent isn't able to clear them, or if they're going aggro, for example. And on turn 4, there is a Geno in hand that's going to be able to trade wonderfully into the Elf Child May.
The big difficulty here is Unlucker really now needs to find some pace to be able to play out his followers so that he can get a beefy Ancient Elf. He's constantly having his board removed after the turn he plays him. And that's just buying time for Omega to get into the Albert territory, Alwida's territory, and who knows what else Omega is going to draw. He has a Maid Leader that's going to guarantee him another strong play, either a Luminous Mage or the Albert again.
Right.
The journey continues.
And with Wholesale Swing, that's going to be able to take out the Ancient Elf this turn as well with 2 damage. Right to the Ancient Elf, and then getting a Knight as well, not to mention. And he can still Maid Leader, gaining tempo, gaining those those commanders in hand. He's just got a Luminous Mage now. He's really got the tools he needs with Alweda's next turn as well. Yeah, and another Nature's Guidance as well.
Yeah.
Both players are sitting pretty. They're gathering the pieces of their puzzle.
I think this situation could get very dangerous here for Omega. He really needs to figure out a way to not have to constantly board clear. I think that being that Unlucker is 2 out of 3 Ancient Elves down, it's going to be tough. It's going to convince Unlucker, I think, to play the Aaron before he gets to the enhanced cost.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Just to gain that tempo and get a ward, because I mean we're getting to the stages where Fangblade Slayer could come out in 2 turns, for example. He might elect to save the Aaron.
We'll see what his draw is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a second Aaron, so I think this is even more compelling of a reason here.
Yeah, when you've got another one just laying in wait in your hand, you know you can play it on turn 8.
Get out of my sight.
Yeah, if Omega is able to get a Fangblade Slayer in his hand, that could be absolutely devastating, being able to chew through those wards. And with even an evolved Aaron only has 6 attack. Oh, Tsubaki. Oh, what a great option to get rid of that
sets
massive
up a really dangerous situation.
Absolutely. Tsubaki is a formidable follower as well. 4-3. Man, being able to take out that Aaron. The evolved one at that.
Okay, he's going to play Goblin Mage and probably Child Grimner, I would assume. It's got to ping the Pirate. And now he can take down 3 damage here.
Yeah, it's got to feel pretty good. He's going to
Oh, he's going to commit the Roach. And he might actually try to swing face here to set up a situation where he's constantly pushing the health level of his opponent down. And that's really what you want to do with Forestcraft, right? Because you want to get them within that health range that you can start swinging Jungle Wardens and really kind of
all the while you're healing yourself up with the Aarons and such, and even the Elf Queen as well.
My sword brings hope.
There's a Grimnir left in the hand of Omega for the last 3 points. He's going to go with the Lancer. We're in the stages of the game. Yeah, you really want to save onto the Grimnirs for that turn 10, just 2 turns. Man, another 5 damage from that Tsubaki. The enhanced 1 attack points from the Luminous Mage.
If he plays the Aaron, it's actually kind of dangerous because then he only has 1 source of attack. And I think he will want some combination of Sylvan Justice and the Roach to get out of the situation.
He's got another Sylvan Justice. The Knight has got 1 defense, and the Mage and Tsubaki.
He knows that the
each.
Enhanced Albert is coming next turn.
Right.
So he needs some kind of a ward.
But even if he does ward, he not clearing the board is going to be absolutely detrimental because the followers that are already on board can clear into the Grimnir, and
he's going to be able to do it with the Evolve Orb here.
I won't lose again.
He needs to evolve,
This ends here.
swing. So
very smart play from Unlucker. He knows the deck he's going up against, and he knows how to play against it effectively.
So Albert can do 5 damage here.
Right.
Oh god, and the double Grimnir is really going to make things tough.
Definitely. Coming out 1 right after the other.
The Aaron healing, so he's already committed 2 or only 1 Aaron. Right? He's got the second one in hand, and he can draw a 3rd one. And I think that's going to be so important to try to stay just 1 step ahead of the Grimnir.
The healing and the ward as well.
Yeah. The healing and the ward is going to be super important. And we'll see if Unlucker can draw into those options. But really, he's kind of just... Jungle Warden is kind of not a great card to hit into right now because you don't have the opportunity. You need the healing to survive the double Grimnir.
Ooh, a Dance of Death. That could be good if there's an Albert that comes out, especially considering that Omega saved the Evolve Orb by playing the 2 Floral Fencers just to get some measure of followers on board.
So Aaron is going to go up to 8, take 3, be at 5, so it's going to survive a single Grimnir. Oh, interesting. Okay, the Fairy's not going to be able to remove the second Floral Fencer. The double ward is going to help, but with Grimnir coming down, it's going to be 3 to the Aaron.
3 to the Aaron, and that's a cleared board for Omega that he's got so much room to play in this matchup.
He needs to be careful. The evolution orb. Oh, he gets his second Aaron, and that's exactly what he needs.
Exactly what he needed. The ward and the healing, absolutely the tools that can stave off that Albert.
Oh my gosh. He needs to be able to constantly clear. Now, in 2 turns, right? Next turn, Omega can play another Albert. And it'll be tough, right? Because he takes another 4, and then there's still, or rather, another Grimner, and then he still has double enhanced Alberts coming. He's not going to evolve. He's not going to clear.
Yeah, and Swordcraft is such that it's perfectly fine in this stage of the game where you've only got 4 cards in hand, relying on that draw to give you your fuel that you need. But Forestcraft, it's a little bit different. Forestcraft really needs to have a large amount of cards in its hand to really make its combos happen with Roach, for example.
It's going to get Dance of Death. Swing once, swing twice.
He's not going to evolve it. I
like that
choice.
a lot. If he opts to play Dance of Death, he's dead here. He needs to draw. No, he's. He needed to draw some kind of reward card or some kind of healing.
Right. Yeah.
No option here is going to
Albert's
save
going to
him.
be able to go for face for 10 damage. Omega is going to be able to take this series 1-1, our first 1-1 series of the day.
And really, the question is, what started Unlucker down this path? Was it because he was too eager with his bounces early on, right? Should he have saved that bounce and tried to figure out a more kind of less efficient in terms of face health, but more efficient in terms of cards in hand, right?
Possibly, but that could have been his only option to board clear. And really trying, I think he was playing towards his advantages of trying to get as much face damage done as possible to put Omega in the range where it would be lethal. But Omega was able to do just that with his sword deck.
Oh, Omega plays the Albert, and I think he's just waiting, watching Unlucker and saying, are you gonna... He's taking the move. Will you willingly surrender? So that game, I mean, went to that game. I hope the players can finish it out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But the Albert came down on the field. There was a Evolve Orb, and then 10 damage of health left.
Yeah.
Either way, seems like a done deal to me.
Yeah.
Very well played by
it's
Omega.
on his turn, right?
Yeah, very well played by Omega, and very well played by his opponent as well.
Well, an interesting game, and I think those options that we talked about in terms of like Forestcraft and kind of in the same vein as Runecraft, Forestcraft really excels when it's kind of got a bunch of cards in hand, right? You know that if your Forestcraft opponent is just top decking, you know, he really doesn't have a comfortable option to kind of work off of. He would really much prefer to play combos of cards.
Yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely, and this is the first semifinals game. Omega versus Unlucker, and it's a 1-1 in a Forestcraft mirror matchup at that.
Fairy Circle is a great card to have in the opening.
Oh, absolutely. One of the best, especially in a Forestcraft matchup where your opponent could have Sylvan Justice. I mean, Sylvan Justice is a great card against Shadow, Sword followers, classes that have aggressive 2-cost followers.
And the second Fairy Circle really provides the opportunity for Omega to play his Glimmering Wings with maximum effect.
Ooh, an Ancient Elf. Went out on that draw. Not too bad. I think Omega is more than happy to have the 3-4 ward on his side, especially when we haven't even yet reached the stage of the game where there's evolve points. We just came back to Omega's turn. He's got that first evolve point. He's got the Elven Princess Mage to get those 0-cost fairies as well.
It seems like the disconnect on our side was just of the Spectator client. So they were actually able to close out the game. Omega moved on 1-1.
Excellent.
Oh, come on!
Omega is really gaining...
Tough spot for Unlucker, having to evolve a fairy as a reaction to a Princess Mage evolve is like... That's the worst spot. Not only do you have less evolve orbs, but you've had to spend your evolve orb, not get an effect off of it, and then still not have board control, right? You're still behind. And he's got double 0-cost fairies plus a Roach plus the bounce. Means at the very least he's going to have an 8 damage Roach combo
Yeah, and glimmering wings as well. So more chances to earn that card draw as well. Not to mention the Sylvan Justice as well. But this Fina
Blow you away.
could be nasty for Omega to deal with. He could spin the Tilly if he wants to get rid of that. Excuse me, Lily.
Tilly.
That is not a card that exists.
Tia plus Lily equals Tilly.
If they were sisters, you know, or had a third sister.
Hmm.
If
Aren't
they're sisters in
all
the
the
first place,
Crystalia cards sisters?
that would make sense. I'm not
Lily,
positive.
Tia, and Aaron.
Hmm.
Somebody,
I
know,
believe it. Someone
Ignidius
told
is a
me, I
big
believe
fan.
it.
I'm gonna ask Ignidius. He's a big fan of flavor text.
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask him.
Mine is so sparkly.
I'm sure you are, Fairy.
Take your word for it.
All right. Well, you need to wipe the board, or else you're dead,
Ooh,
or you have a ward.
gimme.
If he takes a swing from either the 2 or the 3 damage, he's dead.
And I think Unlucker.
Oh, the Tia!
Oh, yeah, the ward.
That's great.
Yeah,
That
very,
ward
very
is,
nice.
is a lifesaver.
Yeah, definitely stems the flow of blood. But do you think it really phases Omega that much?
So he's on 7 play points.
Mm-hmm.
He still won't quite be able to reach here.
He's got an A-Ran of him.
Just because the
Mhm.
if that Tia, if that ward was on 2 health, then the Sylvan Justice would take it out. Lily can swing face. Then you can play Fairy, Roach Bounce, Roach Evolve. And that would close out the game.
Gotcha.
Actually, it would be even more damage because he would play the Justice
I'm
first.
sorry, Tia.
Actually, we'll see. So he's going to do 4-9. I think he might still be dead because he's a card ahead now. So if he plays a Roach, it's going to do 5, and it's going to do 7. Yep. Or 4, and then 6, and then the Evolve.
Hmm.
Yeah. Plus the Justice at the start gave the extra card.
Exactly the amount of damage Omega needed. Very well played, very well calculated. And that's going to be Omega ExG advancing to the finals.
A turn 7 kill. And really, this is the big danger of playing against Forestcraft, especially when you get the Princess Mage Evolve. And we talked about that, right? You have the situation where you're able to use that Evolve Orb to threaten the Princess Mage, then your opponent has to use the Evolve Orb on stuff that's not going to be equally as strong,
Right.
and then still not have board control. And because playing that Tia was actually really strong, but it was not quite enough.
It wasn't enough. Yeah, even having the ward, it was Omega had more than enough tools in his hand to deal with.
Yeah. Any kind of board control you have as Forestcraft is actually really, really strong because any extra source of damage you can throw in there, it was really the fact that the Lily survived, could swing out the ward, and then you could still play the Roach combo off the back of that.
Yeah.
And the Sylvan Justice is not too expensive such that it would